Good morning, everyone. My name is Prathyusha, and I'm here to discuss Unit 5, Go Kiss the World, a subtopic from Unit 5, that is technical vocabulary. Now consider the example sentences here on your screen. I burnish the brass fixture until they reflect the lamplight. All right, we'll read it one more time. I burnish the brass fixture until they reflect the lamplight. Now let's look at the second sentence as well. He will abjure his allegiance to the king. One more time. He will abjure his allegiance to the king. Well, when you look at these two sentences, you probably would have been able to complete understanding the first one, because there are not too many unfamiliar words. There's one unfamiliar word because, and you can probably understand the meaning of the unfamiliar word by the next words and the context. I burnished the brass fixture. So you understand that there's some brass item until they reflect the lamplight. Something that reflects has to be polished. So probably understand the meaning of the word burnish is to polish. You might be able to understand. When you look at the second statement over here, since there are two unfamiliar words for you, you find it a bit difficult to crack the sentence for your understanding. He will abjure his allegiance to the king. That means he will abandon his complete, he will forever abandon his complete loyalties to the king. There might be some event that has happened, hence he would abandon. So when you look at these two statements, if you're unable to crack the first one, or even if you're able to crack the first sentence, and if you're unable to crack the second sentence, you probably need to improve your vocabulary. Now, if you're focusing on vocabulary, we'll talk about technical vocabulary in a minute. If you're focusing on vocabulary, researchers have said that every student, per year, every student has to improve 3,000 plus vocabulary words, it seems. So now the challenge is in front of you. How would you develop it? How would you develop? What are the possible measures you're going to take to improve your vocabulary? It's up to you. Right. A great scholar once said about vocabulary. He says, you can't build up vocabulary if you never meet any new word, it seems. That's so true. And to meet them, you must read. So to build vocabulary, you must either listen and you also must read. The more you read, the better you become. Right? So it's essential for every student to focus on listening and reading. Now, what is technical vocabulary? It is a specialized vocabulary of any field. You take a doctor, what kind of vocabulary he uses? A chef, a traffic police, a maid, everyone, what kind of vocabulary that they use, right, to communicate in their day-to-day life. The expert language, we can call it. Now, why technical vocabulary is important? Before we understand how to crack technical vocabulary and the rest of the questions that are pondering in your mind, why technical vocabulary is important? The second question, how can one improve technical vocabulary? Right. Now, the reason why we have to improve, the question why, is it helps to communicate clearly, solve problems, and collaborate with others. And also, it helps you in documentation, it seems, and also helps you in your professional growth at workplace, right? At when you sit for group discussions at your office, you definitely need to use technical vocabulary, right? Now, some technical vocabulary are also used outside the academic area or any other area, but whenever we are talking about that context. I have some words of vocabulary, technical vocabulary for computer students. This is just example words. You can use them whenever your department, when you can be seeing them using these words a lot frequently. Now I've given the general usage of a word called list, and also in technical terminology. How do you use this word? Okay, now we keep using this word list. I have the groceries list. I made a list of students who did not complete their unit test one. We keep using this word list quite often. But in general usage, a collection of items, as I said, and also in technical terminology, a number of, especially computer, a number of connected items or names written or printed, it seems. Okay, the next one, sorting. Now you arrange, I sorted all my belongings in the wardrobe, all my clothes in the wardrobe. We use that in general way. The point over here is we can be using one word in technical terminology as well as general terminology. Okay, now the technical terminology is the word sorting means process of organizing data in a specific order such as numerical or alphabetical. The next word I've got for you guys is graph. Now graph, we all have at some point of time, if we have reached LB Tech, we have definitely used graphs to show the ups and downs and equations, to show relation between variable quantities, right? And when we're talking about graph in computer terminology, a non-linear data structure that represents complex relationships between objects using vertices and edges. The next word I've got for you is searching. Now, a general terminology, general usage of the word search is to go through quest. Okay. Now, technical terminology, the process of finding a specific element in a collection of elements, it seems. The next word I've got for you is function. Now, I keep hearing a lot of students say this, ma'am, I'm going to attend a family function. It's like a family gathering, ma'am. I would like to be on leave today. A lot of students use this word function. Apart from the general usage, and I want to point out that each word can be used as a noun or a verb. It can be used. The other day, I was asking my students, so BOX, how would you say, what part of speech this word is? There were 2 students who said verb. The rest of them were saying some other answers. I said, what you were saying is right, but also it can be also used as a verb. I'll box your face, something like that, right? Next one is function. The general usage of the word function is an activity that is natural to or the purpose of a person or thing. In technical terminology in computers, a section of code that performs a specific task and returns a result to the calling program. Okay. The next word I've got for you is variable. The general use of variable is able to be changed or adapted. But then in technical terminology, a named storage location in a computer's program that holds data that can change. All right. The next word is string. A general usage of the word string is it can be a musical a string in the musical instrument, or material consisting of threads of cotton or other material twisted together to form a thin length. Can be musical instrument, or it can be a string in a cloth, a fabric, right? The next one, if we're talking about the word string in technical terminology, a data type that represents a sequence of characters, words, or symbols. Next one. Now the word bug, in general, the word bug means a harmful microorganism, can be bacterium. And if we're talking about bug, if we're using bug in technical terminology, a flaw or mistake in computer software or hardware that causes unexpected behavior. Okay, the next word I've got for you is loops. A shape produced by a curve that bends round and crosses around itself. Loop, you probably have heard, or you probably have used this word saying that I've been listening to this song in loop since a couple of days. You might have heard people use this or say such things. So it's a circular motion, something like that, continuous process. Okay. Now in technical terminology, especially in computers, a sequence of instructions that repeat until a certain condition is met. Now the next word is tree. A tree, we all know what a tree means in regular concept. It's part of environment. Now if we're talking about technical usage, a nonlinear data structure that organizes information in a hierarchical model. The next word is queue. If you're talking about the word queue, we've been in a queue a lot of times. Maybe we want to produce our documents for verification, for fee payment as student, right? Now in technical terminology, it seems the word queue means a linear data structure that stores a sequence of items, right? Now let's move to a different vocabulary used in different walk of life, that is trading. Now trading vocabulary, have you guys heard this word, inflation? Now the word inflation means the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. It can be with commodities, it can be it can be with rice, it can be with jaggery, it can be with sugar, it can be, right? The next word is liability. The next trading vocabulary word is liability. Now the word liability is the state of being legally responsible for something. Next word, stocks. Even stocks can be used in various aspects. Stocks, the shares by which ownerships of a corporation or company is divided, right? The next word, equity. I think we were discussing equity in second unit. When we were in class, we were discussing the word equity, equality, discrimination, right? When talking about Sudhamurthy. The word equity means being just, being fair with whatever you are giving to another person, the resources you are providing to the other person. In trading vocabulary, equity, the total amount of money that a shareholder is eligible to receive if all company's debts are paid off and its assets liquidated. Now, this is one of the interesting word in trading, that is bull or bear market. A bull market is a period when the stock market is rising. Now, while a bear market is a period, it's an opposite to bull market. While a bear market is a period when the stock market is falling. So we understand that bull and bear are different. If we are comparing, these two words are contrary. One last word talking about technical vocabulary is the word dictionary. Now, dictionary is a source of information on how to pronounce the word and also what is the meaning of the word. A book or an electronic device that lists the words of a language. Now, the dictionary word can be also used in technical terminology. A data structure that holds a collection of data as a set of key value pairs. Now, this is my reference apart from the textbook that we keep using in our classroom. English for skill enhancement. That's all for today's class. Thank you so much.